When we look at a finished garment, I don't think we ever think twice about what really goes behind this garment. How many hands have actually worked behind this?
If farmer is not there, there is no cloth. Without cotton, I don't know how the supply chain is survive.
Textile supply chain is huge. I am trying to make it as sustainable and as win-win and as enjoyable as possible.
मैं प्राउड फील करती हूँ कि मैं 4 बच्ची को संभाल पाई.
Man muss Kleidung nicht so herstellen, dass irgendwie Natur und Mensch darunter leidet, sondern man kann eben darauf achten, dass beide geschützt werden. Es gibt eigentlich keine Entschuldigung, das nicht zu machen oder Fairtrade oder Bioproduktion nicht zu unterstützen.
I work mainly for the production of the cotton. I connect with the farmers. We have 800 members in our farmers producer company, and this company is 100% owned by the small producers. They are very simple living here. Basically 1 or 2 room maximum in the home. Many of the daily requirements they have covered with their farm, like vegetables or milk. They cook with some farm waste, that stick or whatever. They are very much connected with nature. We sell most of the cotton into fair trade plus organic. Farmers like to do organic because they want to support nature. They understand their situations of the water, soil fertility. For the organic, requirement is minimum because inputs they grow in farm itself. There is a number of beneficiary insect in the fields. Maybe you heard there are a number of farmers are suicide, particularly cotton farmers. And what is the reason? The reason is the maybe price or their debts or their more expense they put for the agriculture and not getting the proper production, no support. In fair trade, they have surety of the price, technical guidance, decrease their input cost and increase the productivity. That is one thing. If you take the example for this year, there is a drought situations. Some farmers do not getting even single kilo of the grain or kilo of the cotton from the farms. So what our board member have decided to support those farmers and how we can support. We have some reserve surplus in our producer company account. We are working with that and we support it to survive even in kind of these situations. The system which is for family and happiness will be comes through this only.
The textile industry is actually the second largest employer in India after agriculture. And so you can imagine the number of farmers and workers who are involved in this sector. When you have a large number of workforce here, especially when you have women, there are difficulties which they could face, which could be discrimination, sexual harassment at the workplace, or getting unequal pay, or not being able to actually voice their opinion when they have a problem. Fairtrade believes in people first. I don't come in with, okay, this is the standard and this is how you need to get certified. Now, what we have in between is the support program, and that's where I play an important role. And I really like doing that because I feel that that is where you are helping each factory, each mill to sort of build a better working environment. There are women who've come back and said, after attending a couple of trainings, we're much more confident now, we are able to communicate better. If there is some problem, we are the first ones to come forward and voice our grievance. You are indirectly or directly sort of building confidence, building self-esteem in workers. Once that happens, the whole working environment, the working space sort of changes. And at the same time, if you're working with the management to set things right, then there are real wonders that can happen in factories. I mean, I have seen places where, the culture has completely changed. It will also be there that you will be like the first, who's coming. People are really willing to work there for many years, and they say that what we like about this place is we get a lot of respect here. I feel that's very important that the senior management, the middle management who actually run the business need to believe that, this is the culture we are going to set for ourselves and these are the things we are going to do. However hard, I think once that belief is there, then I have seen that things actually fall in place.
See, the key word here for me is sustainability. For something to be sustainable, it needs to rest on three solid pillars of economic, social, and environmental sustainability. I feel it's common sense and obvious that if you really want to have something long term, then it has to be fair, that means socially sustainable. It needs to be organic, that is environmentally sustainable. And it needs to make business sense, so it needs to be economically sustainable. What I believe, any business, we allow it to be in its natural form, where no particular aspect is exploited or no particular extra inputs are given, it will thrive on its own. So that's what I believe, and that's what I am trying to do. We make basically baby clothes and kids and a little bit of adult clothing exclusively from organic cotton. Almost the whole product is made by hand. We have 800 to 1,000 people. We have a huge social responsibility. I strongly believe that Pure Cots is a team. And it's not just me or my colleagues or the seniors. We all are equally important for the whole machinery to work. That is why we are in the process of constant engagement with each other. So we have trainings for the middle management, for the supervisors, for the workers. We have get-togethers. Each person has contributes something when in that exchange, and that gives a kind of a dignity a kind of worthiness to all the people involved. That is much more rewarding for them than any pay hike or any incentive. To feel worthy of what they are doing and to be respected for what they're doing gives a big motivation and happiness to people. So we try to achieve that. We have a huge number. The biggest advantage of fair trade I have felt is that we want to do many things on different fronts, but we are not sure how to do them. But when fair trade comes in with a professional agenda and a system, an official system which has been implemented, well thought of, and they put it in front of us, we are assured that okay, this is the right way to do. Fair trade has also shown us a path or a way to start implementing living wages, which is a very integral part of the fair trade textile standards. We are already taking steps towards that. And it's not for a particular label or a particular marketing we want to do it. I feel it needs to be done, whether you interview me or not. I feel it's my responsibility towards my people first.
मेरा नाम शर्मिला है। मेरी 4 लड़कियां हैं और मैं प्योर कोट में 13 साल से काम कर रही हूँ। 14 साल लग गए हैं। मेरा हस्बैंड शराबी थे, तो बच्चे को छोटा छोटा रख के मैं कंपनी में वर्किंग के लिए जाती थी। दूसरी जगह पे 35 रुपीज़ में मैं काम करती थी। तभी मेरा गुजारा नहीं चलता था। तो 4 लड़की को पढ़ाने में मेरा छोटी थी, तभी मेरे पास इतनी ये नहीं थी, पढ़ाने की हैसियत नहीं थी, इसीलिए गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में उसको पढ़ाया। वो मेरा एक सपना था, वो अधूरा रह गया कि लड़की को अच्छी पढ़ाई शिक्षा दूँ। तब जाके प्योर कोट का नाम सुना और मैं गेट पे वॉचमैन से पूछा कि यहाँ पे भर्ती है, तो मैं अंदर प्योर कोट में एंट्री कर पाई। लाइफ पूरी चेंज हो गई प्योर कोट की वजह से। मेरे को प्योर कोट में मस्जिद पे बैठी हूँ, मेरे को घर जैसा माहौल लगता है। सब आजू बाजू में काम करते हो, मेरे सारे फ्रेंड की तरह हंसी मजाक में हम लोग काम करते, इतने खुश होकर काम करते हैं हम लोग। ये काम कंपनी में जब से मैं काम कर रही हूँ तब से हम लोग को पगार से ज़्यादा पैसा मिलता है। हमारे काम के हिसाब से जितना ज़्यादा काम करेंगे उतना हम लोग को ज़्यादा पैसा मिलता है। जितना जेंट्स को सैलरी मिलता है उतना लेडीज़ को भी उसके काम के हिसाब से अच्छा मिलता है। हम लोग को कोई जोर ज़बरदस्ती आज तक नहीं देखी भी नहीं मैंने कंपनी में। वो कमेटी हम लोगों ने बनाई है, हम लोग ने चूज़ किया है उसे। तो हमें जो कोई प्रॉब्लम है जो हमें डायरेक्टली मैनेजमेंट तक नहीं जा सकते, तो कमेटी को हम लोग हमारी प्रॉब्लम बताते हैं और कमेटी जाकर मैनेजमेंट तक पहुंचाती है हम लोग की जो कोई प्रॉब्लम हो वो। कि मैं कंपनी में काम भी करती हूँ, मेरे पास प्योर कोट जैसी नौकरी भी है और उतना वक्त भी मिलता है कि मैं खुशी महसूस कर सकूँ। तो दरिया पे जाके रेती में बैठ के देखती रहती हूँ और सोचती रहती हूँ। इतना वक्त मिलता है मेरे को, वो मेरे लिए बहुत खुशी का माहौल है।
Ich habe Textilmanagement studiert im Bachelor und war dann im 6. Semester im Praktikum bei einem Textilunternehmen in der Bekleidungstechnik und bin quasi in so eine Sinnkrise, kann man schon fast sagen, gerutscht, weil ich festgestellt habe, dass diese Industrie eben sehr oberflächlich ist. Und ich habe relativ schnell gemerkt, dass es mir keinen Sinn gibt, daran irgendwie beteiligt zu sein. Und habe mein ganzes Studium in Frage gestellt. Und dann bin ich irgendwie auf diesen Bereich der Unternehmensverantwortung, Nachhaltigkeit gestoßen und habe eben gemerkt, dass es da was gibt, was man machen kann, wo man einen Beitrag leisten kann. Und das war tatsächlich so ein Licht am Ende des Tunnels quasi für mich. Ich glaube, dass jeder Fabrikmanager gerne hohe Löhne zahlen würde. Es kann aber nur funktionieren, wenn es am Ende jemand abnimmt. Wenn jemand den Preis dafür zahlt, dass diese Arbeiter eben einen höheren Lohn bekommen, als sie den vielleicht jetzt bekommen. Und das funktioniert eben nur, wenn da eine Brand oder ein Buyer dahinter steht, der das unterstützt und sagt, ja, ich bin bereit, diesen Preis dann zu zahlen. Der muss gar nicht sehr viel höher sein. Zum Beispiel bei einem T-Shirt, was am Ende 30 € kostet im Verkauf, liegt der Upcharge, also das, was man mehr zahlt für Bio und Fairtrade, bei 50 Cent. Das heißt, das kann eigentlich kein Argument sein, am Ende auf Fairtrade oder ökologische Produktion zu verzichten. Ja. Wir haben in den letzten 3 Jahren viele Kunden überzeugen können. Die Anzahl der Kunden ist da sehr gestiegen. Also sobald unser Kunde sieht, dass es sinnvoll ist und dass das Geld ankommt, sind sie auch überzeugt und halten auch daran fest. Und ich glaube, diesen Schritt muss man erstmal schaffen, dass es eben wirklich glaubwürdig ist am Ende. Was Fairtrade macht, die setzen eben schon am Ursprung des Rohstoffes an, geben den Farmern auch Wissen zum biologischen Anbau mit, stellen eben durch Mindestpreise und Prämie eine gewisse Sicherheit für die Farmer dar und gehen durch die gesamte Kette, also die gesamte Lieferkette wird von Fairtrade zertifiziert und wird eben darauf geachtet, dass Umwelt- und Sozialstandards da eingehalten werden. Und dafür wurde der Fairtrade Textilstandard quasi ins Leben gerufen, dass gesagt wird, wir achten nicht nur auf die Bauern, sondern eben auf alle Textilarbeiter, die daran beteiligt sind.
At least we need to try and see if one supply chain can actually be certified and show the rest of the world that this is possible. We are talking about improvement in the lives of thousands and millions of farmers and workers who are a part of this textile supply chain and the many number of hands who are actually involved in making this final product.
When a consumer picks up a social and environmentally sound product, then he or she should feel the dignity of participating in this movement. So the consumer is really powerful, and if he is aware and present at that moment and he's sensitive, so awareness and sensitivity if he has, then he will make the right decision and his contribution will have a significant impact on the whole supply chain. So he doesn't need to do anything, he doesn't have to plant trees and all that, he just has to buy the right stuff. That's my message.